Okay, so on day 3, Brett is gonna start with some soft tissue work. He's gonna go on the top of his legs first, so thinking more quads, TFL, hip flexors, and as he works his way down his leg, he's gonna flip over onto that posterior chain where he's hitting his calves, his hamstrings, his glutes, his low back, his mid back. So spend your time working that tissue that needs to be worked. Next, what we're gonna go into are our shin boxes, or otherwise known as 90-90s. Brett's gonna go ahead and set up his legs in a box-like fashion, so you can see he has a 90-degree angle through his hips on both legs. He's gonna go ahead and add in a little bit of that rotation through his back as well. Make sure that you are breathing through the movement, not holding on to your breath. He's gonna go ahead and flip over to the other side, do one more. Finally, find a wall. We are gonna go through our overhead dead bug. So what Brett's gonna do is engage with the wall by pushing as hard as he can in. He's gonna bring those knees up to a 90-degree angle before he extends each leg, alternating as far out as he can with his heel just hovering over the ground. Okay, so our movement prep for day 3, Brett is gonna go ahead and find a mini band, and he's gonna go through 3-point star touches. So as you see, he's stabilizing on one leg, reaching forward, laterally, and then back on that other leg that's going off to the side. So we're stabilizing on one leg, reaching out on the other. Next, Brett is gonna take that band, go ahead and move it up to his arms. We're gonna find a wall here. I'm gonna stand at an adjacent angle next to Brett. What he's gonna do with his left hand is go ahead and reach up. Then he's going to reach out at a 45-degree angle, and then finally reaching all the way out to the side. The goal here is to maintain constant tension. When doing this correctly, you will feel it through the backside of the shoulders. Next, what Brett is going to do is drop that band, find some room. We're gonna go through inverted hamstrings, otherwise known as RDLs, just at a body weight fashion. So hands are gonna be outside. He is going to reach back, thinking length from head to heel as he goes through. So really push that heel back, trying to touch that wall behind you. Okay, we are going to go into our overhead marching and skipping protocol. If you have a medicine ball or a small weight, a doll would work just fine too. You can go ahead and grab that. As Brett crosses us, I wanna make sure that his posture is perfect. He's striking underneath his hips, and that ball is right over his ears. Good job, Brett. Next, he is going to go into his overhead skipping. So we can do this without a ball. Let's go ahead and add a little rhythm, a little coordination, putting just a little bit more force into the ground. Still looking at that same posture. Finally, we are gonna go through our bounding progressions. When we go through our bounding progressions, we are going to do 2 on each side as we go through. So when he hits, it'll be right, right, left, left. Okay, moving on to our plyos for day 3. Brett is going to go ahead and start with some plyo loading. We're gonna do this in a split leg fashion. So you'll see he's reaching up tall on 2 feet and rapidly throwing one of those feet back as he stabilizes that landing. Next, what we are going to move into is a counter movement split stance. So we're gonna maintain that same position, only this time we are going through that quick descent right back up into that jump, landing right back in that same location we took off from. Finally, if you have a medicine ball, go ahead and grab it. Any ball will work here. Basketball works just fine. We are gonna get into a single leg position. That knee is still up at around 80 degrees, and we are just working on stabilizing. As we throw that ball, comes back, we have to immediately stabilize through the hips. Okay, starting in strength block 1 on day 3, Brett is gonna go through a single leg deadlift to bent over row. So we're really working on lateral hip stability as we have the movement coming from that upper body pull. Next, go ahead, find a bench if you have it or something you can support your chest with at an incline. If you don't have that, you can go ahead and do it flat on the ground. We are gonna go through I's, Y's, and T's. We're using that upper back, pulling the scapula back as we go in the motion of that letter. Finally, we are gonna grab something that we can go overhead with, laying flat on our back. Brett is gonna raise those dumbbells up and overhead. We are gonna go through single leg lowers. So just like we would with a band or pushing into the wall, we are now just extending that leg a little bit further with good overhead stability. If you need to, you can bend your knee to make this move a little bit easier on that lower. All right, on strength block number 2 on day 3, we are gonna go through overhead half kneeling get up. So you're gonna notice whatever arm is up and overhead with that weight, Brett is going to be stepping back on that same side leg. Similar to a lunge, although we're touching that knee down to the ground. From there, grab a band, tie it around a post, a door frame, do what you can there. We are gonna go through split stance, banded rows. We are not adding in any rotation, but we still want some good scapular movement as Brett keeps that elbow nice and low as he pulls back on that band. Finally, from there, grab some room on the floor. We are gonna go through banana rolls. You can think of these as a Superman to a hollow body transition, making sure that we are stabilizing at each point. This is not a continuous roll, and our knees and elbows are not touching. We are extended as possible.
All right, guys, for your ESD today, we're just gonna do a continuous 20 minutes of cardio. I want you guys to be at a continuous heart rate here the whole time. So the heart rate is gonna be in that yellow zone, so the 130 to 160 beats per minute. Everybody's built a little bit different, so if you don't have a heart rate monitor, just go ahead and think about it like if you're doing a jog and you can still talk to somebody, but you're sweating, starting to breathe hard a little bit, but you can still have a conversation. That's kind of where you wanna be after those 20 minutes.